to a Mother's Day edition of the Sunday News. I am the second class elitist. With me today is Ali Alcatraz.
Our local zombie mom.
Yeah. Did the zombies get you any Mother's Day presents?
They did.
Like the cake made out of a head with the candles on it?
Actually, it was a very nice brain salad.
Brain salad. Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. What do you serve that with?
Anything you want, really.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Side of cerebellum.
Nice. All right, so once again, happy Mother's Day to all of you, wargaming moms out there. There's more of you than people want to give credit for. Yeah. Not going to be a lot going on this week, but there are a couple things we really wanted to highlight, so we're going to jump in on this. So,
all right.
Kickstarter news.
Well, let's get started with some Kickstarters. First of all, Devil's Run is live and already funded and already into stretch goals.
Woo!
You want to give them a little bit more background about why this is so cool?
Yes, because it's awesome and you need to buy it right now. You need to go back this thing. It's doing really, really well. Basically, as we've already discussed on the show, it's going to be 20 millimeter, which is Matchbox scale. Really good game set. It's a board game, not a true classic miniature combat game. However, that's not going to stop you. Basically, you're going to get...
They're still miniature.
Yeah, they're still miniatures. You get cards for bikes, trikes, cars, trucks, and there are different characters that can change the abilities of the vehicle that they're in. Simple.
Makes sense.
Really easy to pick up, easy to play with. Going to come starting with, I believe, 2 cars for each side, a bike for one, a trike for the other. Really easy to jump in on, really easy to start with. The models are being sculpted for them by Prodos, so you know the quality of the resin you're getting. Really good pieces. Like most of your board game Kickstarters, this one is you jump in at a pledge level, and that pledge level is basically the board game. Quick and easy. They have a couple higher ones where it adds on other vehicles, but that's basically what you're looking at. And the stretch goals are additional cards, such as more drivers and stuff, and eventually additional vehicles.
Okay. Okay, because that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. Some of them are just cards that you can apply to the existing vehicles or not,
right. And
then some of them are additional vehicles that will be unlocked in stretch goals.
So these cards, you don't need miniatures for these drivers because they're inside the cars.
Right.
So it just represents basically like skill sets. And
yeah, to my knowledge, there are no individual on-foot type peoples in this. Even though the picture of one of them, Officer Cadence, is shown on foot.
Okay.
But that's because they're right now running a contest to see what kind of vehicle she's going to be in. So.
Okay. But what about bikes? They got riders?
Yes.
Okay.
With a couple different head options.
Gotta ask the silly questions.
Yeah. No. Bikes and trikes have riders.
Yeah. So there are people, but not. They don't bother for everything. They're not making removable car roofs. With
To my knowledge,
it's mostly about the vehicles.
To my knowledge, it's when you lose the vehicles, you're done, kind of thing.
That makes sense. You can't just run and grab another one.
No.
I mean, you could try, but you become a splat on the sidewalk pretty fast.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool. So stretch goals already rolling. That means more stuff for you if you go in, and clearly plenty of people like this, so more stretch goals are going to happen. So go in and get yourself some stuff.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Counterblast.
Counterblast, go in and get your stuff.
Heavy support, go get stuff. They are currently $740 from funding. With several more days to go.
Yep, Friday, 9:45 Eastern. So definitely going to fund. Really the question now is just how many stretch goals they're going to go through.
Yeah.
So definitely is going to be making it. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be available. If you are playing Counterblast, within the stretch goals, there's something for everyone as long as it gets that far. If you are not currently playing Counterblast, the Kickstarter is actually the best way for you to get in. Yeah. And this is why. The starter boxes are $50 normally.
Right.
The starter boxes right now are $40.
Right.
The rule book is $15.
Okay.
Okay. If you wanted the PDF only version, it's $5. You have 2 different pledges you can go in for, which is a less than $100 and $100 and over. The $100 and over pledge gives you free stuff. The other one does not. Shipping is flat. $10 for US, 25 row. So if you want to get in on the $100 level and you're not playing this game, you and a buddy You and a buddy spend $40 a piece on the box, 40, 80, pick a rule book and like one single character.
Right.
Because you're going to be saving $20 off the box sets. You're going to get a free character, and then you're going to pay $10 shipping. You're basically up $20.
Right.
All for having to wait a couple months. Most of this stuff they already have either ready to go or all the designs are laid.
Right.
There's no, we still need to sculpt this model, with the exception of the Azro Riders that Patrick Keith is already working on.
Okay.
And by the way, one model that he made for this game, he sculpted it in 2 days.
Right, so the point is we are not waiting for slackers to finish sculpting the rest of the things.
No,
I mean,
this is not going to
go through.
This is not going to be one of those delayed in committee kind of
Yeah.
Kickstarters that take 6, 8, 12 months to deliver.
Right, so the point is even if you're not ready for the heavy support and you're just using this to get into the game, it's a good price point.
Yeah.
If you are already into the game, you probably have at least 2 or 3 people with 2 or 3 different forces. All those heavy supports are running $15-20 a piece. Still worth putting it together.
Yeah.
Getting the heavy support you need for everybody, maybe even for your whole club in the process, and again getting 1 or 2 more freebies.
Yep.
As well as go ahead and put in a couple more. You want to make sure that those Azro Riders get unlocked. As Token Gamer Chick is nodding vigorously that she would like you to do so.
But you already have to. You made 2 of your own.
They need friends.
They need friends. They need Patrick Keith sculpted friends.
Patrick
Yes.
Keith babes, please.
Okay.
So it would be really cool if those get unlocked because they're going to be absolutely gorgeous and more even cool stuff to keep going down the line. So, start going in. If you've been waiting for it, go ahead and get in, and we'll unlock some cool stuff. And remember, there's actually more starter boxes and starter sets than were in the original Kickstarter. He's made an all-new Dr. Zardoff and the Robot Menace.
Yes.
That starter box is also discounted.
And hilarious, by the way.
And hilarious. It's an awesome box. As well as he's also offering all those component pieces as add-ons.
Mm-hmm.
So if you already, but I don't need the whole box because I already have 6 of this bot and 12 of that bot. Well, you can go get Dr. Zardoff and whatever bot you don't have. As well as he's kind of promoted several of the babes into becoming a female Lancer crew.
Yep.
So that's effectively a whole other starter box, full of gorgeous women. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good kit. I think Belle got that the first time around.
Okay.
Not that any of them are painted or anything.
Yeah,
like
we
that,
wouldn't know because we don't get to see them.
Yeah,
if they're
but and again, $40 for that kit. So really, any squad.
Really nice.
He's got the original 4 box sets, and then those 2. You're looking at like 6 pre-designed kits
Different options.
that you can do, and that's enough models to get a decent game in. I think when last time we went through them all, they're anywhere from 115 to 180 for the starter boxes in game points before you even do anything like giving them extra gear and equipment.
You really can start with these starter boxes.
Yeah.
They're not joshing you around on that.
I'm right now in midst editing. I almost had it up because I wanted to have it up before this, and it got halfway loaded, and then there was a communications connection issue. I have not killed anyone. I have not killed anyone who works for the utility company, although I really thought about it because I was 89% uploaded of a Counterblast battle report. So let's start that all over again.
Solar flares. Stop.
Yeah.
Okay. So, more Counterblast. Cool.
Yep.
Okay, another interesting update, a really, really cool update on Ramshackle robots, which we told you about last week.
Curtis, you're costing me money, buddy.
Dude, yeah, he put up a whole new vehicle robot guy, and it's Cerberus. And yes, that means what you think it does, and it is really awesome looking.
Yes, it is a giant dog mech. It is beautiful. Basically, the way it works is the same way all of them are working, which is normally you pick,
chassis.
You pick a chassis, legs, arms. A head and a backpack.
Right.
Okay.
Weapon slot back.
Generally 5 slots.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And 5 in the chassis. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not 1, 2, 3, 4. Head, back now.
Yeah.
So 6.
6. Yeah.
6 plus a chassis. 6 plus a chassis.
Well, except that the legs and the arms.
Oh, are
Well, the 2 legs are normally together.
nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The
So-
legs are one attachment. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
They're a pair.
Okay.
That's how legs work.
But it'd be really fun to see them hopping around. Okay. All right.
So anyway, basically what you're looking at is instead you're doing the chassis, which is the canine chassis.
Elongated chassis.
Instead of picking arms, you're basically choosing 2 leg slots.
2 sets of legs.
And then it has 2 weapon mounts that you can then get 2 different weapon options and mount them on there. So you're still getting your same
because you
number
don't
of
have to
choices.
pick the head. The head is
Yeah.
already on the chassis. So instead of head and back mount, you have
2
weapon
weapons.
mounts.
Right. And also, looking at the Cerberus kit, there are 2 large round veined areas on the sides of the head.
Yeah.
Right about here. Those discs for those vents, I believe, are the same size as weapon mounts.
Okay.
So if you wanted to do the chin strap style weapon mounts, you can order 2 extra weapons, because you can order extra weapons as add-ons.
Mandibles are booming.
Yeah, so you can have, the machine gun mandibles and then the big
Yeah.
weapons on the back.
So yeah, it looks like you can do some really cool tricked out stuff with the Cerberus kit.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
Really?
this means that now you can't get the 5 model pledge and get all of the different leg options. So now I have to get a 6th model. Because I must have them all.
Yes.
Jerk.
He's really. But the Cerberus is really cool. If you weren't quite into it before, because, okay, humanoid robots would maybe not be my thing, but if animal robots are your thing.
Yeah, well, quadruped robots are great.
Quadruped robots are awesome.
There's a lot of interesting crossover for this. That makes a really good land strider for 15mm.
Okay.
Because they're kind of like 40mm-esque in size, most of the robots.
Okay.
Because they're designed to be big for 28mm models.
Okay.
So to a 15mm model, now the quadruped looks like a land strider.
Right.
Or to a 54mm or 70mm model, it's a robotic canine assistant.
Okay.
So there's actually a couple different
Yeah.
scales that this one works with.
Yeah, so that one's really cool. Go take a look at the new shinies. And, yeah. Alright, now I want to tell you about a new Kickstarter that we just came across. It's called War of Wonders.
Mhm.
What is so incredibly cool about this, and it's funny because I saw this and I couldn't believe I hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's one of those, of course this, yeah.
Yeah, well, of course, why, how have I not seen that before? It's actually going to be, it is a miniatures game, and it's actually going to be Golden Age superhero / war game.
Yes.
So just like in a true Golden Age comic, instead of having all superheroes and all superpowered cards, you have guys, you have the armies, and they have with them a metahuman, a superpowered human.
Right.
That is their special character. So you get army guys and superheroes all smashed together, and of course, it's beat up the Nazis.
Yeah, it's, Pulp City meets Bolt Gun.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and it's an awesome setup, and they do it in that true Golden Age fashion. They have, so your basic, your sweet spot pledge is going to be your 55-pound one that is a starter game, a starter box game. It's got U.S. troops and their metahuman, the flag, and it has the basic German troops whose name I couldn't pronounce, so I don't remember.
yeah, they're Wehrmacht infantry, so.
And Brunhild.
Yes.
Their metahuman.
Who is kind of like an Iron Woman
Yeah.
concept character. So really neat.
So really cool. And
Hey, and that means the other one is kind of like a Captain America. Captain America
Yeah.
versus Iron Man. That certainly
Yeah.
never happens
So, I mean,
to start a war
they're
or
really,
anything.
I mean, and they made their own characters and they made their own costumes, but they're very classic, very
Yeah,
reminiscent.
they're very iconic Golden Age concepts.
Yes.
So
Right down to, the basic kinds of costumes they came up with for heroes in the Golden Age.
Yeah.
They're not overdressing them, they're not doing anything really weird, it's barely more than clothing.
Yep.
It's just something that makes them, you would definitely not wear that on the street.
Yeah. like kind of like
You
the
know.
original Golden Age Flash looked like he was in the Steelworkers Union.
Yeah.
Like they're pretty straightforward guys. Yeah.
But yeah, and they're just a little bit stronger. So and the soldiers are going to come in multi-part kits.
Mhm.
So you're going to have choices of torsos, legs, and heads to put together in different ways. They're all in uniforms. So the soldiers are going to be almost uniform.
Yeah.
But they are multi-part so that you can put them together in different configurations.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really neat for people who like army games and troop movements and things like that.
I think it's going to be it's
not a very large scale. But
army skirmish games are always wonky at 28mm because when you don't have a lot of guys, it's tough to explain why character models are special.
right.
This solves that problem because wargaming is fairly pulpish. Your character models are usually incredibly superpowered lords and warlords
Right.
and special characters, and those things don't happen in real life.
Right.
So this answers that problem.
Right.
You can have a unit of infantry being led by the flag and have the flag twice as fast, twice as strong, and this kind of thing because he's a superhero.
And we already know why because we know what superheroes are. So it's great. Any of you who are concerned about rules or whatnot, they do allow you to download a set of the beta rules.
I'm really impressed with how much they have for open download right now. Like they're
Yeah.
really making this print and play capable.
Yeah.
They have the rules there. They have the cards for both of the metahumans there. They have, I believe, only one stock infantry card, but that gives you your stock infantry card.
Right. So I mean, you can actually go into the Kickstarter. You can go into the downloads and not only see. I mean, they don't have finished copies of all the models yet.
Right.
But you can see the direction they're going with the models, and you can see the direction they're going with the rules.
Yeah.
And you can look at them, at the rules on the cards, and tell whether this is a rule set you like to play.
Yeah.
So
Got 25 days left on this one. I've downloaded the beta rules. I have not had a chance to look at them yet. Hopefully I'll be able to give you guys either a better review of it this week in a blog article or next week on the Sunday News or both.
Right.
But this is one that, at first I looked at it and I honestly, I wasn't too keen on it. I gave it a quick glance. I looked at it. It was kind of blasé and I moved on. Fortunately, Allie looked at it and she was like, "No, there's."
but this
there's,
and that.
and she really sold me on the idea, so I'm going to take a better look at it this
Yeah,
week.
it's looking pretty cool. We're going to take a closer look. They're already almost funded. They got to be doing something right because a lot of people already like this. They're already almost funded. And just so you know, the first two stretch goals are geared toward getting the troops and metahuman for Japan.
Which is going to be their third faction.
So that's probably going to happen. So if you're interested in any of those three forces, US, Germany, or Japan, and the Japanese characters look pretty cool too.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the first couple stretch goals. They're probably all going to be available. Odds are.
I'm really hoping they make
25
it.
days
I'm
to
really
go.
hoping they make it to the British forces.
Yeah, I love the British metahuman.
Yeah.
Rose.
Yep.
Rose is gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm really
She's
hoping
awesome.
that gets unlocked because I
Yeah.
want to see that happen.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean,
again-
that's pretty far out, but I'd love to see that. I would totally.
25 days, it's not impossible. And
Yeah.
again, this is Game Design 101. I preach this all the time. If you want to have a game that's competitive in the market, you need to start it with 4 factions.
Right.
Because 4 factions give people enough options.
Right.
So if this can make it to 4 factions, and again, yeah, there's some competition in the World War II market. Yeah, there's some competition in the superhero market now. But there's
this
not any that
smash-up-
combines the two.
And again, I don't know why. Like, how are you guys the first people to think of this?
Yeah,
But I mean, and it's
and again,
awesome.
there may have been other projects that have done it, but none that have had enough backing or staying power that I own them.
Yeah,
So
but especially if you're our age or older, Golden Age is
Golden Age is great.
Is awesome, and it looks like they're doing some great things with it. By the same token, they're giving you enough to start with, but they're not overstretching themselves.
Right.
At this point, they're coming up with what they need to start and expanding it as they can. But everything looks realistic and reasonable.
yeah, it's really solid.
It does. It looks like
I
a
wanna
really
see where this
solid
goes.
build for the Kickstarter. So I think that's very, very interesting. You should go take a look at it, especially if you love Golden Age, or especially if you have people in your clubs where some of them like superpowers and some of them like troops. Now
Yeah.
you can all play together.
So, all right,
and beat 'em Nazis.
you missed one on your list there, because there was one more Kickstarter that we need to talk about.
Yeah.
It has not started yet, but people need to know about this so that they can be ready for it.
All right.
I'm pretty sure I told you about this. Coming the first week in June, Bones 3.
Bones 3! Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Not giving us a chance to paint Bones 2, huh?
Nope.
Alright.
Hey, we got like 4 models out of the 300 we got.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not a bad ratio.
I got 4 more that are going to be done soon.
See, we might even get.
We're rolling right along.
We might even get 20 or 30 of them done.
But we might get up to 10% of our points by the time.
My dragons are assembled.
The dragons, the force of dragons is assembled.
Yep.
There's pointy bits all over the place, just off camera.
I don't know what they're going to be putting in it. I don't know what the stretch goals are. I don't know what kits out of their line that they're looking to put onto this one. This was announced at ReaperCon last week.
But we can assume it's going to be huge.
We can assume it's going to be
Based
at least as big as
history.
number 2 was, and at least as awesome with at least as many kits. So
more bones.
And again, I think it's going to be the same thing where your basic pledge is $100, and that gets you, by the time they're doing Kickstarters, stretches, that's going to get you another 100-some models.
Yeah.
So it's worth it.
Yeah.
Even just, to practice your airbrushing technique with.
Yes.
So.
Plenty of experimental things to mash up with that. So.
Okay.
Bones 3, up and coming. Woohoo!
All right, out of Kickstarters.
Out of Kickstarter.
Into non-starters.
Into non-starters.
No
comment.
kicking.
No comment. All right. So, Gen Con.
Gen Con.
At Gen Con will be Protoss.
Yep. They managed to backdoor into a booth. So they will be at Gen Con. The stand number is 2921. If you want to go to the Gen Con page and look at the Gen Con map, they will be, if this is the map, they will be all the way over on this side, in the middle of the line. I don't know what, if anything, they will have new special and spectacular that will be specifically for Gen Con, because since this wasn't planned, I don't know that they're going to have a unique model.
Spontaneous showing up at Gen Con.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to have a unique model for it, but they're going to have all the new Imperial stuff. They're going to have all the Protoss stuff, for all the Warzone stuff. And I'm not saying this, but they may have that other game ready by then. Maybe.
Can't.
Maybe. I don't know. So, we're hoping.
Maybe. 2050. What month is it? I never
well, it's actually
things.
only 12 months past when the fulfillment date was supposed to be.
Okay.
So it is just about to run a year late.
Okay.
By Gen Con, it will be running more than a year late.
Okay. When's Gen Con? I'm bad with dates and calendars.
It just escaped me, actually. July, I believe. Probably.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
So, in Indianapolis in July, maybe. But Protoss, definitely Protoss.
There we go.
Stand 2921, go visit. All right. Also, this is great. Terminator Genisys we have here. Pre-orders are up.
Yeah, I've already thrown my wallet at Alicia.
Yeah.
Pre-orders are up for Terminator Genisys at the Warlord site, warlord.co.uk, I believe. I will have a link down there. So, but yeah, Terminator Genisys, guys, it's up. It's golden. It's coming. They are pre-orders now. I am expecting that we will see fulfillment of this pretty much in time, right for the movie. So,
hey, you can be painting them and watching. Well, not really, because they can't bring it into the theater.
Because could you imagine trying to paint in a dark theater?
That would be hilarious. I think you should do that. Somebody should try that and let us know how it went.
Well, to be fair, if it's a Terminator, you could probably pull it off because it's just
Silver,
silver.
wash. I can't get. You come out and see how it looks. But I don't know. If you go to one of those new fancy places where they have actual chairs and recliners and stuff, you probably have a little side table.
Nice.
You can hook yourself up a book light to the table. And
I do expect, however, that there will be a Terminator Genisys model painting day where we show the original Terminator series.
Okay.
And by the original Terminator series, I mean Terminator 1 and 2 on a loop.
Right. 3 wasn't that bad. I mean, it. Some things went the only way some things could have gone.
Stop. Next.
All right. So that's Terminator Genisys.
Yep.
Now we have a little bit of bad news.
Okay, what do we got?
Dust Studios and Battlefront
Yes.
have officially dissolved all their business relationships.
Yeah. Which honestly, at this point, isn't really bad news. It means that the dragging carcass has finally been cut free.
The terminal illness has finally come to its conclusion.
Yeah, euthanasia has occurred. I'm not going to go
They turned off the life support.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into whose fault this problem is. I'm not going to go into who's responsible. I'm not going to go into who's liable for their Kickstarter, because that's not my job.
No.
And honestly, there is enough he said, she said on the internet for a lifetime. If you want that information, go look it up. I'm going to tell you right now, it's this side pointing fingers that way, that side pointing fingers this way, and everybody's screaming.
Yeah.
Both are making points that sound valid, as long as the other side doesn't say that's not all the information, which both sides are saying.
Right. So
I don't know. I know people in both camps. I'm not going to comment on which direction I think it's going at this point, because honestly, I don't care. What I know at this point is that Dust will be releasing from Battlefront. Dust will find someone else to put out their models. Dust, if you want that game, is still going to be around. It's not going to go anywhere because there's way too much capital involved.
they'll find somebody new.
Somebody will pick it up. Somebody will distribute it. And, Parente will keep sculpting amazing, amazing pieces. They're not going anywhere. So people that are afraid that this means that Dust no longer exists, not going to happen. Battlefront, this allows them to focus back on their core products.
Right.
It means that we will be able to see possibly better distribution of upcoming Flames of War.
Right.
It's a sad thing because it means that two juggernauts that could have really worked to propel something in the industry aren't going to be able to, but it doesn't mean that their individual projects are going to suffer. So it's a thing. It is what it is. Mommy and Daddy have stopped fighting. They're officially getting a divorce, and they'll figure out visitation rights sometime soon.
Right. So
That's it.
All right. Well, on to happier stuff.
Yay!
We have a special show and tell today. You know how we like to honor holidays here at LXG.
So I don't see them in your notes. I've given you a couple events
Events.
that we wanted to discuss. Did you have the
I'm
notes
sorry,
on
I didn't find.
Okay.
I didn't find those in the notes.
those? Well, I will go look
So,
that up while
all
you're
right.
doing the show and tell.
All right.
So
So
that
we'll
this can
actually
look
have
like a
something after the show.
So this can look like a
so.
seamless transition, and that we're not doing what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just mentally edit this part out. 'Cause
You
we're
can forget
not going
this.
to.
This is fine.
All right. So.
Jedi mind powers. Disney, don't sue me. Okay.
Okay.
So
So.
I'm gonna go do a thing, and you're gonna stand here and do a thing, and we
So-
can do all the things.
The things. So in honor of Mother's Day.
Yoink.
In honor of Mother's Day, we would like to give for today's presentation Lilith, the Mother of Monsters. This is not a brand new model. We're not showing you anything up and coming or innovative. This is a model, in fact, a starter box that is available for Malifaux. And this is the Nephilim starter box. It is called Lilith, Mother of Monsters. So in honor of Mother's Day, we are celebrating the mother of all our, cute little demonic monster creatures. So this is the model herself. I decided to do something interesting with that pose and make it a little dynamic, so she is actually balancing on a human tombstone, because as you probably know, if you're a Malifaux player, the Nephilim and the humans, in fact, do not get along. So she's, dancing on a human's grave, or more particularly on his tombstone, just to show how agile she really is before she chops your head off. So that is Lilith, and of course she is joined in her box by her totem, the cherub, the Malifaux cherub. who is, actually apparently pretty annoying on the field of battle.
I hate that model.
Yeah, Second Class Elitist gave him a nice little nickname that we actually can't repeat on live film here, where we're not editing it. But so it actually does some things. Aside from being insignificant, it's a pretty cool card. Also, other progeny of hers. Now see, the cherub here has a little birth defect in that he does not have clawed feet and bat wings. I'd just like to point that out. All her other offspring have the bat wings and the cloven hooves. Here, of course, is Barbaros, her little lieutenant. Is he actually a henchman? Because I forget right now.
Yes.
So he is actually a henchman, so this box does include one. He is a, malformed, cranky little guy who got enslaved by humans, and that's why he is stunted and nowhere near the size of a mature Nephilim. But he's very cranky. He's also very crafty. He's not actually a big bruiser so much as he is tricky. So that is our cranky little lieutenant there. And to fill out the box, we have the Terratots. They were not exactly my favorite models, I admit, but I managed to get them to come out looking pretty nice. I mean, I'm not really a big, babies thing, and these are babies that are walking around and kind of freaky looking.
But they move so fast.
Yes. Make sure they have room here. The mommy's not blocking their view. So these are the guys that come in the Lilith Mother of Monsters box. It is a neat starter box. As you can see, I have a rather unusual color scheme here. I will go into more detail someday when I write a box review article.
Yeah.
But basically, in case none of you could guess the color scheme, since this is a actually nature-based faction, the colors in the color scheme are all those of berries. There are raspberries and blueberries and blackberries and white raspberries and strawberries. And all those lovely colors mixed into these. That's how I came up with those really unusual colors. The only one that has a roughly human skin tone is Lilith, because she is clearly disguised in a human form, or perhaps, depending on what legend you're reading, might have actually originally had a human form. But
she's just weird.
But yeah, so she has a more human skin tone. But that is our little box, our little tribute to mothers today. We know you all have your little monsters. So these are our little monsters and our little monster mother. So we hope you enjoy our little presentation. And now we shall bring you back to Second Class Elitist with his events news.
Okay, so 3 more events to go over this week. Actually, I shouldn't say 3 more because one of them I'm repeating.
That's okay.
May 31st, if you're on the East Coast, there is an Inifinty tournament at Game Master Games on Long Island. The exact town is Hicksville, New York. That's being held by one of our friends from New York. Going to be a really good event. Contact Game Master Games for more information. I will try to put a link below if I can. Also, June 13th, same area, North Jersey, Maplewood, New Jersey, at Maplewood Hobbies, there will be a Wrath of Kings tournament. I do not have the points number for either one, unfortunately, but I'm also not running those events. So contact those stores if you play either of those games and are interested in attending. Most definitely, if you are on the West Coast, you absolutely positively need to be at Califaux. Califaux is going to be running June 5th through June 7th. Go to califaux.com. There are still seats available. They are really close to eclipsing the number of players they had last year, which is Chrissy's greatest hope for this thing, because she wants to see it continue to grow every year. Cool. So if you have not already registered for that, go to califaux.com. Obviously, if you are a Malifaux player, and sign up for that event. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, we discussed this last week. She's a great ambassador for the hobby. She runs really cool, really interesting events. Energy level is really high. She just got a ton of prize support in for this thing. Really a ton, like almost enough to pay for me to get a plane ticket. So you guys definitely go and take a look at that. Go to the event if you can. Let us know what you think of it, and that's actually going to wrap us up for this week. So
right.
hopefully this got you some more information, got you excited about a couple things. Go visit our friends that have Kickstarters running. Make sure you do that. Also, make sure you tell your friends about this show. Subscribe, like the show, post it on social media, talk to people about it, and that way we can keep growing and reach a greater audience. And if you are interested and have any events that are coming up that you would like us to talk about because you want larger attendance at your events, please give us some notes below. I always check the notes on the shows before I do the next one, just in case. No reason not to talk about whatever guys are running. So that pretty much takes care of us for this week.
All right. Excellent.
All right. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the show. This is the Second Class Elitist and Ali Alcatraz. Go enjoy the rest of your Mother's Day, and I'll see you on the other side of the table.